It's no secret that Hilton's points are pretty trash, but in every pile of trash lies an opportunity, and that opportunity lies within the Hilton Aspire credit cards. Today, we're going to talk about the secret and ultra powerful Hilton credit card strategy. My name is Sean, and I'm here with my co-host.
Hi everyone, I'm Sherwin. Today on the Credit Card BS podcast, we'll be delving into our favorite and not so secret, I guess, Hilton credit card strategy. And it all boils down to Hilton's top tier card, which is the Hilton Aspire. This is, in our opinion, the best hotel credit card in the world. Although it does come with a $550 annual fee, it comes with some really awesome benefits that far outweigh that fee. Sean, why don't you talk about some of those benefits?
Yeah, so first and foremost, you receive an annual free night certificate, even including the first year of opening the card. And this free night certificate is different than other hotel free night certificates because it's usable for virtually any Hilton run property on Earth. So there are a very, very small handful of unremarkable exceptions, but at 99.9% of Hilton properties, you can use this free night certificate, assuming a standard room is available with points. And that's incredibly valuable because while Hilton does not have the best luxury hotel portfolio out there, their top tier properties are truly top tier. So if you're able to cherry pick your redemption, super valuable free night certificate. You also get a $400 resort credit that splits every calendar 6 months. So $200 from January 1st to the end of June, and then July 1st to December 31st, $200 each. You receive a $200 airline statement credit. This actually works for airfare, unlike the other Amex credits that are incidentals only. This is directly for airfare. Split $50 per calendar quarter. You receive Hilton Diamond, which is their top tier status, and a $189 annual clear credit. This is pretty mid, especially if you're getting multiple of these, but the other credits are pretty powerful.
Yeah, I think, if you just take the resort credit and the airline credit together, that's already more than an annual fee. And then the free night certificate, you could get easily $600 or more in value for that single night. Because remember, we're going to be using this at the best hotels in the world, plus Hilton Diamond. So, easily offsets the fee if you're using this correctly. I will say that the clear credit, I don't think is trash. I found it pretty useful for me. Although it does come with the platinum card. It's allowed multiple people in my family to all have clear memberships, especially now that they've increased the price of adding a family member. Having multiple of these clear credits has been useful. So if you don't have a platinum card, I think it's helpful. I probably wouldn't value it at $189, but just think of it as it comes with a free clear membership, and I think it's a nice perk.
For sure. So let's talk about the strategy of this card. So we've laid out the benefits. Now, a lot of you guys might be saying, okay, look, it's cool, right? But it's I'm paying $550 and I have to now take 4 flights a year and do 2 resort stays. That doesn't sound like the most useful card. And on the surface, it may seem like that, but there's a few things to remember. 1, the flight credit, while being split $50 per calendar quarter, remember that a lot of airlines, particularly US-based airlines, are pretty flexible now about how they do cancellations. Where let's say I book a flight and then I cancel, usually I can stack that as a future flight credit. Different airlines have different policies on this, but it can be fairly useful. So you actually don't have to take any flights per year, actually. You could just keep stacking the credit together. For example, it works towards United Travel Bank or Southwest flights, where you could just Southwest flight credit never expires. So you don't have to take flight credit like that. And then resort credit, what you can do is for hotels that accept credit card authorization forms, you can actually prepay towards your room folio, and it would actually work toward the resort credit. So you would only need to take 1 resort stay per year. Now, we'll go into a bit more technicalities of this in a second, but I just want to first outline, you don't have to do all of these stays every year. You could really just do 1 nice vacation a year with this card, and you're still able to use the credits all up at once instead of, breaking it across this, twice a year resort and 4 times a year airline credit and all that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. It is more complicated and involved than just directly booking something and going. But I think because of how much extra value you can extract by using this strategy, it's worth trying for sure. So Sean, do you want to describe what the strategy actually is? I feel like we've had a lot of build up, but we should reveal how this works.
Yeah, so the strategy is not to have an Aspire card. The strategy is to have many Aspire cards, because if you have multiple of these cards, it's significantly more powerful than one. And, if you think about it, one night at a top tier hotel really doesn't mean all that much. Am I going to fly 20 hours across the earth to go to the Waldorf Astoria Maldives for one night? No. Would I do it for many, many nights? Yes. And so by having multiple of these cards, first of all, you stack multiple free night certificates. So one night doesn't mean anything. 3 to 4 or more, that could mean a major vacation, especially if I was able to stack it with some points bookings as well, if you're going to some ultra exotic place. But that, already fundamentally changes the game. One night at any high-end hotel doesn't mean much. 3 to 4 or more, that actually could be a self-contained vacation. The resort credit as well, I think this also even gets better with the resort credit, because let's say I go to a really high-end hotel, okay? And I'm staying there on points. Let's pick Waldorf Astoria Cabo, one of my favorite hotels. I've been there 4 times. And, it's nice. I'm staying there. But the problem is now I have to eat food, right? That's something we have to do. And it's like, do I want to leave my pool chair at this really nice hotel just so I can go into town and get some cheap food? Not really. I'd like to order some food at the pool. But it's like, oh, wow, that burger is $50. That's expensive. And so the resort credit here, while not you can't value it at true cash value, can be pretty valuable here if you're able to apply it right. And so as I mentioned that you can, pre-authorize a charge from the card to prepay your room folio. And what's so cool about this resort credit is it's a direct card credit. It's not some BS hotel side credit where it's like, oh, sorry, sir, it doesn't work toward tips, gratuities, taxes, this restaurant or spa treatments. It's like, no, it's on the card end. So what that means is I can literally buy anything at the property, and if it's charged on my room folio and charged to the credit card, it will code. So I could literally go to the hotel, say I will like a glass of water, and I will tip the waiter $200. And if it gets charged to the room folio and I pay it on the card, that works. And so that's really, really valuable. So if you have a bunch of these card stacking, you can combine all these resort credits, and then you could have this kind of prepaid resort folio and have this credit. So it takes a bit of the stress away on your trip. Now, I understand that you can't, when doing that, you cannot value it at face value for the annual fee. Totally, entirely understand that. But it is valuable to some degree for that. And I think because you can use it for quite literally anything at the resort, it is a pretty powerful credit. The only exception I want to mention of really what it can't be used for is if you go on, let's say, Hilton.com and you do a prepaid room rate that is being charged from Hilton's end, that will not code. It will only code for things that are from the hotel's front desk, meaning a hotel like room folio. But that usually does mean if you do a hotel authorization credit card form and they charge you in advance from the hotel's end for just prepaying your folio, that usually should code properly and be usable as the credit. Okay, that was a lot. Sherwin, what do you have to add there?
Yes, I think let's give a concrete example of how the strategy might play out. Let's say you want to go to a very nice Hilton resort in September, okay? So second half of the year. And I have 2 Hilton Aspire cards, which comes with 2 free night certificates. So I'm going to book those 2 nights using those 2 certificates. So that's entirely taken care of, including resort fee and everything. Now I want to apply these resort credits. So let's say I'm booking earlier in the year. So it's between January and June. And I want to use these resort credits toward that stay in September. So I'm going to call up the resort, have them send me a credit card authorization form, charge $200 to each card, done. Already $400 in credits on the folio. Then when I get to the resort in September, I'm going to have my stay, and at checkout, or you can take care of this earlier during check-in or during your stay, but at checkout, I'm going to hand over one card and say, please put $200 on this card, and please put the rest of the folio on the second card. And that way, you can get essentially, $800 in resource credits, and maximize both of those free night certificates. So that's kind of what we're talking about. Sean, is there anything you would like to add to that example?
No, I think that was a perfect example. And it's something that, again, I understand that like you may feel like, you know, you may not normally spend that much at a resort, but if you go to these high-end places, you'll be surprised by how much you spend. And so I think it's a really, really, really useful credit to have, especially that you can stack it that way. And, you know, the authorization form policy is different by property, so you'll want to figure it out with your hotel specifically. But a lot of times, you know, I haven't had any issues with it, and it's a really great way to get some value out of the card.
Yes, I do want to note that, again, that the credit only works at Hilton Resorts, and Hilton Resorts are defined by the resort filter on the Hilton website, regardless of whether the hotel has the name resort in the name. So, you know, there may be properties with the word resort in the name, but they're not classified as resorts, so that won't count. And then there might be some properties that don't even seem like a resort, but for some reason are classified as a resort, and those will count toward the credit. So, for example, if you go to Resorts World in Las Vegas, it's not really a resort, but they classify that as a resort. Or the Waldorf Astoria in Las Vegas, not really a resort, but it's classified as a resort under the search filter, and therefore it will count toward the credit. So, do a little bit of your own searching to see what counts. It may be different from what you might expect.
Very, very good point. And yeah, it has to be a full resort. Even if it's like a super luxury property, but it's not a resort, doesn't count. Has to be a resort always. And yeah, as I said, like before, the airline credit I think is also really valuable because you can just stack it. So like Alaska's flexible with their travel credits. Southwest is super flexible because they never expire. It works towards United Travel Bank. So it's a really nice way as well. Like when you have all these cards, it's almost like an all-in-one vacation package card, if you think about it, right? If I have 4 Aspire cards, I can now go to Cabo. So that's, you know, $550 times 4, but I can go down to Waldorf Astoria Cabo for 4 nights. I can use the airline credit to pay for all my airfare for me and my player 2. We can use the resort credit to ball out while I'm there, so I really don't feel like I have to be super careful about what I order. And then, you know, the all-in price for those 4 nights was cheaper than I would have paid cash for 2 nights, just base cash. Now, cash rate sure is inflated or whatever, but very, very reasonable vacation. If I'm saying, okay, I pay $550 a night for this vacation, but all my food's included, my airport transport is included, my airfare is included, right? And I still have a little bit left over to splurge on, and I'm staying at a hotel that costs $1,600 a night for the base room. Oh, and I probably got upgraded because I have the highest tier status. That's a very, very, very competitive deal to me. So I feel like it is just something that a lot of people get scared off by this annual fee of $550. Like I was meeting people at the Waldorf Astoria Cabo, and this baffled me, where they're paying cash for this place. They were paying cash for some of their nights. And they didn't want to get the Aspire card because the annual fee was too high. They wanted only the Surpass because, you know, it was a lower annual fee. And I'm like, what are you doing? Just one of the cards, the night it would have given you would have paid for itself 3 times. Like people, I think they think this annual fee is some kind of like lifetime contract and they're, you know, blood bound to keep this card forever. It's like, no, this is, you know, you would have saved so much money by getting it. And people are just way, way too afraid of these annual fees.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think one thing we should mention before we wrap up is how in the world you get multiple Hilton Aspires. And the answer is, well, I think the first way is, you know, once you have a Hilton Aspire, I believe you can directly apply for another one. You won't get the welcome offer again, but I believe that works. But the better strategy, perhaps, is to apply for all 3 of these different Hilton cards. So remember, there's a no annual fee one, there's a $150 annual fee Hilton Surpass, and then there's Aspire. So let's say you apply for the Aspire, and later you apply for the Surpass, the mid-tier card, and you get that bonus. Then you can upgrade that one to an Aspire after it's been open for a year. You can also upgrade the no annual fee Hilton card to an Aspire after a year. Potentially get at least 3 just from this strategy. Now, keep in mind, American Express has a once-in-a-lifetime rule, so you are not eligible for a welcome bonus for card if you have had that card at all, regardless of whether you earned a bonus for that. So if you haven't had a card yet, don't upgrade or downgrade to it, or else you will lock yourself out of the bonus. Make sure you apply for that card independently, earn the bonus, then you can upgrade or downgrade another card to that card, and you won't miss out. So don't upgrade to a Hilton Aspire if you haven't already straight up applied for Hilton Aspire yourself, or else you will disqualify yourself for the bonus permanently.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a really good point. And yeah, I think the strategy you want to do is dependent on like your immediate travel needs, where if you're not going to be doing these super, super high end resort stays in the next, year or two, doing the upgrade path is smarter because you get all the sign up bonuses. But there is also an argument where if you're planning to go to these resorts anyways, and you would have used the credit in full, and if you're paying cash for the nights, or you just really would have wanted the nights, that getting 3 Aspires immediately, even if you're, foregoing the opportunity to get those sign up offers, that the Aspire is so valuable as a card that the value you could have gotten by opening it earlier actually outweighs the value that you would have gotten from a sign up bonus, which is very rare in the credit card world. And I think speaks volumes to how valuable these cards truly are.
Yes. So honestly, I feel like the whole Hilton program, is strong and powerful only because of the credit cards. Without the American Express Hilton cards, the status or the loyalty program itself would be pretty trash. But Aspire is really powerful. Again, the points are not super powerful, but the free night certificates are, as well as just how you can stack these credits, how you can get the top tier status with the credit card directly. So definitely a strategy you want to consider. It could potentially save you a lot of money.
Definitely agree. I think this is a strategy that's surprisingly still underrated. I think a lot of people are hesitant to do it. The main consideration, of course, is like being that your 524 status will be affected if you get a bunch of Aspire cards, which I think is a legitimate concern. But other than that, it's really a wonderful, wonderful strategy.
So let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you like or have the Hilton Aspire card? Would you get multiple, or do you have multiple? Do you think this strategy is a good or bad idea? Let us know in the comments below. If you found today's information helpful or interesting, please give this video a like and consider subscribing to our channel. It greatly helps us grow. Also, if you're interested in applying for any credit card, please consider using one of the links in the description below. It greatly helps support this channel as well. And Sean, why don't you plug our Discord?
So if you want to connect and talk with an elite group of very knowledgeable credit card enthusiasts and award travelers, check out the 100% free Travel Lane Discord group at the link in the description. You will learn a ton, I promise you. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week.